We don't really know what's going to happen in this fight, but the thing is...
We know what's going to happen in this fight.
Yeah, that's true. If Tom, I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but if Tom Aspinall can't get that takedown...
Okay, so it looked like Jon Jones is injured, and Sergei Pavlovich is stepping in against Tom Aspinall for the interim heavyweight title. Boy, this is crazy because a year ago, Tom Aspinall was injured, and we didn't know when he was going to be coming back.
We see these athletes get injured, these fighters get injured, and they never be the same. So it was a lot of questions about his health. And then his last fight, he was able to shake back.
Was it over Marcin Tybura?
Yeah, but Marcin, he's not a bad opponent. The only issue I had with Tom Aspinall is, yeah, he has the talent, he's a rising star, but he don't really have a win over nobody in the top 4, nobody in the top 3. And I'm not trying to say Tom is elite or not elite, because we really don't know. But the thing is, we see guys who go on a tear and they finish these other fighters and they fight somebody elite and they never win the big fight. They never win a fight against somebody who's elite.
Well, he is taking this fight on short notice. But one thing to note is he has got the performance of the night 5 times versus Jake Collier, Andrei Arlovsky, Sergei Spivak, Alexander Volkov, and Marcin Tybura.
The last 2 are good ones.
You look at his record, considering the fact that he has a total of only 16 fights. You know, that's pretty good. The thing is this, Sergei was already training because he was the backup fighter for the Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic fight in the first place. So he's already in shape, more than likely, just in case something was to happen. Tom Aspinall just taking the opportunity.
I think he was on standby too somewhat, because he was calling out Cyril Gane. I'm not trying to say he's in top shape or whatever,
but I'm gonna tell you something, this fight, even with a full training camp, this fight wasn't going past 1 round anyway. I'm looking at his UFC record. Tom Aspinall, only 1 fight went to the 2nd round. All the other fights, Sergei,
I think all his fights,
and that's what I was going to next, all of Sergei's UFC fights have ended in the 1st round. Even when he got beat in the first one by Alistair, that was in the 1st round. So we got 2 first-round fighters anyway. Well, something was going to happen. Somebody either going to get knocked out or...
And we seen Sergei against the elite guy that he had the Alistair Overeem.
But that was his first UFC fight too.
Yes, but the thing is, Tom, like, he's been tested, and I don't really hold the Volkov win too high because you never know which version you get with Volkov. But at the same time, Marcin is okay. The Volkov fight is okay, but he don't have that elite win, and that's why we needed him to be healthy against Curtis Blaydes, because that fight would have answered a lot of questions.
The way that fight was going, it looked like he was finna get knocked out cold, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Yes, that's
the way he was running in with his chin in the air, just recklessly
swinging. And that's the thing though, because we don't really know what's gonna happen in this fight, but the thing is,
we know what's gonna happen in this fight.
Yeah, that's true. If Tom, I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but if Tom Aspinall can't get that takedown, what happens?
And I hate to say this, but Curtis Blaydes has taken down about everybody. Regardless of what his flaw is, it ain't that many people who can stay on their feet if Curtis Blaydes wants you on your back. And when he tried to take down Sergei Pavlovich, we saw the fear in his eyes on live television, remember?
Yeah.
His eyes literally bucked and he was looking like, I cannot buzz this dude. And then his whole demeanor just went straight down the drain. I mean, literally, he gave up in that moment.
I think, honestly, what I was going to say is, how can Sergei win? How can
Sergei win?
No, I'm saying, what should his approach be? Because we seen Sergei win decisions. We see him win decisions.
No, Sergei has...
No, I'm saying prior to the UFC.
Man, the only thing that matters in this fight is UFC.
But I'm trying to prove a point. I'm saying, like, we've seen Sergei win decisions before, and we've also seen him get quick knockouts. If he's fighting at Tom is dangerous in the 1st round. I think Sergei would have the advantage in the 2nd and 3rd round. If we had to choose either fighter.
Either way it go, they both gonna be at a disadvantage in the 2nd, 3rd round, because this is the UFC. This is not somebody from Starbucks that you beating up for 15 minutes. You're talking about another UFC fighter where you can't make no mistakes. It's the bright lights is on.
I get the same,
but a lot going on.
But the point is, he went 3 rounds before.
Against who? We can't even name these people. Let's be honest.
I'm just saying, I think he has a better gas tank. That's all I'm saying.
Man, he finishing fights in the 1st round for a reason. He knows what's on the other side of that 5 minutes. And I'm not saying he can't go to a decision, but I'm saying the reality is, in the UFC, he ain't even been to the 2nd round.
Yeah.
So there's no point of bringing up a 2nd or 3rd round. And then this is an interim title fight, so it's a 5-round fight technically. So realistically, it was going to end in 1 round anyway. At the very least, the 2nd round, perhaps. Yeah. But more than likely, it was going to be a 1st rounder. Somebody going down the 1st round. And on the feet, I don't know if Tom want to play that game with Sergei.
Because he's been getting some knockouts, man. But the thing is, Tom's
hands is underrated.
He has power, but his striking, it's improving. But the thing is, he can't play that game with Sergei, because Tom get away with a lot because he's really explosive and he has a lot of knockout power. Because notice when he was knocking people out, when he first came to the UFC, he was bum rushing people and getting them out there real fast. Against people in the top 3, you can't do that to these guys. You're going to have to set something up. You're going to have to set up your knockout punch.
And another thing is, we did, and it was a long time ago, I don't even know if it's really worth mentioning.
The Alex Overeem.
But boy, if Tom can get this fight to the ground for even just one round, but I just don't know. We have not seen Sergei in that situation since that fight. I don't think that there's no fighter with as much confidence and momentum who is not a champion right now other than Sergei. Realistically, man, the way he turned through these guys, bro, it wouldn't be far-fetched to think that the same thing that happened to Tai Tuivasa, you know.
Another thing is Tom fight with his hands down. You see him moving. That's cool when you're fighting against Marcin Tybura. But when you fighting against somebody like Sergei, man, you can't put your hands down. I know he got the little style with his hands down and stuff, bro, but against Sergei, the fight will be over fast.
Your soul is mine.
If you do that,
the fight will be over fast.
It might take a more traditional type of stance to beat Sergei with your hands up, like with a high guard. But like I say, Tom got puncher's chance.
Hey, but realistically, dude, I'm looking at Tom's record. He got 3 losses. He got injured against Curtis. It looked like Curtis was going to catch him anyway, but we don't know what was going to happen. His other fight, it was a DQ, so he was winning, and then he got disqualified. The John Jones.
Yeah, that don't really count.
And the other one was, he was 3-0. He got heel hooked. This was in 2015. So it's realistically,
like he'd been Hail Married a couple. Well, really,
once. I'm saying he really only got 1 loss when we really think about it. So
but then Sergei got that one loss.
I'm saying they both only really got 1 loss.
Yeah.
If you really look at it. So, but let's be real here. Derek Lewis, you think Tom Aspinall wouldn't beat Derek Lewis? Let's be completely honest.
I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think so.
Man.
What are you going to do to Derek Lewis?
Man, he can do a lot.
You can't take him down.
I mean, I see what you're saying. It depends on what version of Derek shows up.
That's true.
When we playing the game of what version of Derek shows up.
Because Tom is consistent.
And then we got a consistent Tom who's consistently getting better and showing up every single time. You think that Tom can beat Tai Tuivasa?
Yes. I think that's the tier, that's the level of where he can dominate.
Well, the other guys that Sergei beat are not worth mentioning because Tom would absolutely blaze through those guys. So realistically, Sergei, he just beat some bigger names at the time. But it ain't like he did a crazy amount more than Tom if you really look at it. But I will say, the fact that Sergei is in shape.
And the fact that when he fought Curtis, he was able to stuff some takedowns. I thought Curtis would give him down at least once.
I also attribute that to, we getting to the point where we don't know which version of Curtis shows up no more.
God.
This video ain't about him, but I'm just being honest. We really get to the point where he's starting to turn into a fighter that he really supposed to be winning these fights that he's been losing. So it's like, man, did a really good Sergei show up and just a really bad Curtis, or was that a really good Sergei making a really good Curtis look really bad? So that's the elephant in the room. Because Curtis is the common denominator.
Curtis is somebody who, he doesn't really show up in these big fights.
You know.
You know, so it's a lot of that is mental, and
but
he might get there eventually. But,
and that's why the Tom Aspinall fight was going to show us if Tom can show up in the big fights.
Because technically,
he was trying though.
Because technically, he caught Sergei early on, and he still ended up losing. He was able to catch Tom a little bit early on, and maybe Tom would have came back. But I don't think Tom would have came back, bro.
It's funny because the fight with Curtis answered what it needed to answer for Sergei, but because Tom got injured, it didn't really answer no questions there. But if that fight had happened, it'll be like a little bit better perspective on how to analyze the fight. But as far as these two guys, Tom and Sergei, it was going to be a first round. It was going to be a first rounder anyway.
Yeah,
period. It's basically a first round.
And I think Tom, he's going to have to land a knockout punch, man, because I don't know how good his legs is, man.
That's another thing, man. You think Sergei not going to come out there and kick that leg? You're crazy. Sergei definitely going to kick that leg.